Shawty had bright brown eyes. She'll make a grown man cry. She looks like she came from heaven. You told her lies. How could you make her cry? You know he doesn't deserve you. I've seen you in my dreams. Oh, don't wake me from the sleep. My queen will be a king. You already know the deal, girl. He don't deserve you in his arms. He don't deserve your love and warmth. He don't deserve you. Let me show you I can love you.
What is going on, family? Thank you for tuning in to the Urban Turban Podcast on our fourth episode. And I appreciate you. I'm grounded. I'm humbled that you are here, and I'm very grateful. And so let's get into it. Today's episode is about the mind's ability to affect reality. I know you may have heard otherwise, that our reality, our external reality affects us, but it's actually the opposite way. So I first want to bring up some studies. Please, I don't have the exact links, but these are from books that I've read and that they go into depth, and I'll list those books here if you give me a moment to look at my phone, where they talk about some of these studies that were conducted about the conscious beings or the consciousness able to affect reality around it. So the first study was done, they programmed a robot that looked like a chicken to go either left or right. And so if you know about statistics, you know, if you have something basically 50-50, it's going to be, you know, heads or tails. So just as much heads as it is tails. So they programmed this random robot chicken to go either left or right. But here's the kicker. What they did in this study is that they had that robot be imprinted by some chicks. So those little chicks thought that that robot was their mom. And so, you know, they set it up where the robot would roam around, and something strange happened. They noticed that when the chicks would call the robot, or, you know, like they normally did with a real chicken, the robot would meander over to the chicks more often. And so they've done this study over multiple times by different countries, different universities. And it's just very odd how the chicks had the ability to not only affect the reality around them, but make a random robot that's not even a real mama chicken come near them more times than it would normally have if it was randomly programmed without the chicks. And so I say that to bring up, if baby chickens have the ability to affect the reality around them on that level, imagine someone like you and me with our higher consciousness having the ability to affect our reality around us. So they've also done studies about, they program these little boxes, they put them all over the world to either generate a random 1 or a 0. So once again, if you understand statistics, and if there's either one option or the other option, it should be about 50-50. And so these random boxes are programmed around the world in different places. And so they noticed on certain days where there was singly directed focus, that it would just go out of sync, random anomalies. And so one of the most significant days that this happened was when the death of Princess Diana was televised, where they had estimated over 1 billion people watched it. And so those random boxes of ones and zeros were going out of sync. Normally it's supposed to be either 50-50. But for these days, where everybody's directed focus was on these things, it went completely out of sync. Another day that this happened was 9/11, where the reverberation was felt by the whole entire world. People watched it over and over and over. Those black boxes went out of sync. So they have a study on this about how human consciousness affects the reality and about directed focus. So I say that to say this. I know right now that many of us are upset with the current world, upset with a lot of things that are going on, whether it be the economy, whether it be whatever president is in there, whatever governmental figure they put in there, the status of your local neighborhood, the status, the current entertainment industry, maybe worldwide. I don't know what it is that you are currently having issues with in your life, whether it be in overall society or just in your personal life. You didn't get the job you wanted. You found out that your spouse was cheating on you. Your kids are not doing well in school, whatever it is. Whenever you have your attention or energy focused on something, you will get more of that. And so it is when you have your thoughts and your heart in alignment that realities are manifested, whether you like it or not. So for instance, if you feel something really strongly and, let's say, oh, I need this money. I need this money. What you're telling the universe is, I don't got this money, so don't give it to me. What you could be doing and should be doing possibly is stating that I already know that this money is coming to me. I already believe that it's here. I think God, if you believe in God, in the universe, that it's already here. And I'm already so thankful that it's here already. And really believe it in your heart. Your thoughts and your actions and your feelings have to match. That is how you manifest. And so these things are well studied. If you look at Nikola Tesla, he was constantly obsessed with frequencies and electricity and electromagnetism. And if you look up some of his inventions and some of his writings, they were far, far ahead. But he died broke in a hotel. And so it's just ironic how now Elon Musk names his company after him, because he was so innovative in his ability to understand how we are synchronicity. He understood that vibrations are everything, and that we attract, and certain frequencies can literally move us in different directions, literally appeal to different behaviors. So these things are studied, like I said, whether it be the music that we listen to. If you've ever watched, there's an interview, rest in peace, XXX Extension, I think that's his name. I apologize if I'm not saying it right, guys. Where he talks about that he understood what frequencies affected certain people, and how it affected emotions. And what he's saying is not ridiculous. I mean, if you really understand the science of frequency and understand, when you watch a movie and they play that, that sad violin, and you feel, and you feel that, and you're like, oh man, this is a really sad. They know what keys, they know what frequencies to play at what time. These things are studied by governments, by private science institutes. So I say all that to say this. If baby chickens can affect material robot that is programmed to either go left or right 50% of the time and make it come towards them, and they are chickens, imagine your ability to manifest whatever it is in your life. So you have to be very mindful of what you're putting out into the universe. and how you are representing yourself and what you're feeling. I'm not saying it to make you scared or nothing like that, but I'm just saying it so you can focus. That is something that I wish I would have known when I was a lot younger, about the mind's ability to focus on a singularity focus and just pull those things to you. I was always gifted at pulling things to me, you just like you are, but I wasn't able to control it. And so that's more so what I'm preaching to you today, is to be mindful of your thoughts and the things that you say and how you carry yourself and what you digest, ingest, whether it be music, whether it be TV, whether it be the people that you keep around, because everyone has frequencies that they carry on them. And so if you understand music, there's something called phase, where if certain frequencies are out of phase, it makes the mix sound crazy. So some people are out of phase with you. They come around you and your mix is sounding like trash. You can't put that out, but you're like, why is nothing never happening? Or what you're watching is out of phase with you. You vibrate on a higher level, and what you're watching and what you're listening to is taking you out of phase. There's another thing, principle in EQing. It's called sidechain. So sidechain is when it ducks out certain frequencies. So let's say, for instance, sidechain is always used on bass frequencies. For most part, it'll duck out the kick or the bass guitar at a certain time when the kick hits. So that's what you need to be doing in your life, is you need to duck out those negative frequencies when that negativity hits you. You get what I'm saying? You don't react right away. You allow it to just, and then you come back. And so that's really what I'm trying to teach you here today, is that you have the ability to create your own reality. I know that it seems like the outside world is what is real, but the only thing that is real is your internal mental state. This is why I preach about being sober, because they've done studies on alcohol and the effect of weakening human will over generations. And if you understand about epigenetics, things are passed down from generation to generation and affect the genes. Certain genes are turned on whether you want it or not. So for instance, if your grandfather and grandmother drank, it affected your genes. Now, once again, about genes can be turned off and on based off of environment. So if you are constantly raising your vibration, trying to be as sober as possible, trying to be around good vibrations, it will change your literal DNA structure. And so some books that I would love to recommend to you right now to read or to listen to on audio, since I don't have a lot of time, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't always physically read books. There are some physical books that I do keep, like The Art of War. But for the most part, I listen to audios, and it has dramatically changed my life. And the best form of anything is storytelling. So give me 1 second here to look at my phone as I look down to log into my Audible so I can recommend these two books here, because I do not remember off the top of my head what they are called, even though I listen to them all the time. 1 second here. Okay. So the book that references some of these studies is called What If It All Goes Right by Mindy Audlin. She talks about the study with the chicken. She also talks about another study that I didn't mention earlier about they have institutes that literally study when there. I know if people heard this story about people praying in certain cities or monks going to a city and the crime rate going down by like 10, 15 points, which is unheard of. And then they do it some days and then they don't do it some days, and you noticeably see the difference in the mentality. And so this is less than 1%. So this is something that a lot of people need to be aware of, that we could literally change the world with just 1 to 2% of the world having focus and intention on positive things. And I'm not saying it to be some woo-woo, and I know you may not believe, but if you believe in science, if you trust the science, This is something that's been studied by governments, CIA, counterintelligence agencies. They all know these things. And so every aspect of entertainment has intelligence in it. Your favorite movie, some of those things are, they have to go to get reference first from intelligence agencies. So these things are studied. The imagery, certain colors, everything is done purposely. There's no such thing as coincidence. So the second book that I would love to recommend to you is called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's an old book that was written by Dr. Joseph Murray. I think it came out in the 1900s or later 1900s, but it's still very relevant to today. It talks about mindset, talks about the mind's ability to affect reality. It does go into some things about prayer, but overall, he talks about it from a scientific point of view. Another book that I would love to recommend by Joe Vitale. I know some of you may know him from the movie called The Secret. The Awakened Millionaire Manifesto. It's a great book. He talks about coming from homelessness to now, being multimillionaire and being able to affect his reality. Talks about his struggle and how he gave up the struggle. And that's what I want to promote to you guys here today, is that we need to give up our struggles. We don't need to personify our existence and our experiences by our struggle, by what has happened to us or what is currently happening to us. You are supposed to be like a boxer. You're supposed to stick and move. Things are going to come at you, but you don't stay there and get and let yourself get pummeled. You stick and move. You let the negativity pass you by, and you keep your vibration high. You feel it. I'm human too. You feel it sometimes. You get sad, but you go back and, okay, how can I resolve the situation? How can I come up with solutions? How can I fix myself? Because we all, and I want to let you know, we all have the ability to fix our own problems. The only reason why I came up with this podcast is to inspire you to be able to fix your own problems. I'm not here to solve your problems. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm only here to provide information. And hopefully you are able to take that information and do something with it if it suits you. Anything that I'm giving you, if it don't fit your lifestyle, throw it out. Take what you can get from it and solve your own problems, because we are all able to solve our own problems. And I just want to say, I love you guys like a fat kid love cake. And y'all know I love cake.
I just come to let y'all know, put some respect on my name. Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Been telling these haters that I'm the greatest, man. Back when I was just homeless, I couldn't see the plan. Praying for safe, but didn't have no pen. Broke bread with them when I had nothing. Took advantage of me cause they knew they can. Not to fall, all I wanted was friends. Guess it was all a part of God's plan. Now I'm cashing checks, watch me grow my I ain't got no enemies.
What is going on, family? I am Reef. I am an audio engineer with a plethora of experience in many different genres. Not just hip-hop, not just R&B, not just pop, you name it. Anything in between. Afro beats, folk music, you name it. If you need your track mastered, you came to the right spot. I've done stuff for TV, radio, commercials. It doesn't matter. I can do it all. I'll master your dog. Whatever you need. You came to the right spot. If you need that bop,
grab my plate, grab my seat at your table.
We on top.
When I sleep, I make paper. You know God, I'm in his favor. I'm doing good, moved out the hood. White people say, hey neighbor.